Shalom, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, who are teaching this truth in sincerity. And a shout out to Yakins out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Braka the Yahweh, Braka the Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash, Braka Dum. So, out here another week, prophesying the downfall of Basra, better known as Babylon the Great, America, and pretty much all those joined unto Edom's also going to be caught in this judgment. The Most High has been visiting this place. As you know, yesterday there was the Red Bank fire off of Highway 36 that has now burned 6,000 acres, and Hurricane Dorian has made landfall in North Carolina on the East Coast. So the Most High is indefinitely visiting this place because, of course, we've been out here teaching for quite a while, and you already know 2/3 of our people are not going to repent, meaning that this word has gone out. So the only thing left are the judgments, and eventually we won't be on the streets anymore teaching because they're trying to get us off the streets, by creating newer rules on YouTube, and pretty much deeming everything that goes against their narrative as hate speech. And to hate something is to not like it, right? You don't agree with their narrative, so, you're going to be deemed for hate speech, especially when you start talking about the atrocities that Edom has committed against our people. You just start bringing up history lessons and all that. Next thing you know, what was once general audiences, if that is now reduced to where there's an advisory on there. But you can't copy it or anything else, though. You can only watch the video because of the restrictions on there, So, they do that all the time, because another brother that I correspond with quite a bit, don't have his number personally, but, we watch each other's videos, Brother Malcolm, he often brings up the history, and almost every time he does that, next thing you know, it's AKA plus 17, you have to be 17 or older to view the material. And it's not that he's showing you any graphic material, he's just reading facts out of books, But Esau likes to try to hide these facts because, of course, he wants to tell you his version of history, which has all been revised. Pretty much it's all lies, because we know that, they didn't come to Plymouth to have peace among our people. No. They came to search and destroy, and that's what they did. And the only reason why they had actually won is because the Most High allowed them to. Because our people are much more smart than Esau. Esau's vaping all the time. You're hearing it all the time. This newer invention of vaping, And that they're going to be using other things. So, this is a problem for Esau. Same thing with the opioids, which is the whole reason why they took over Vietnam and Afghanistan, all them places, was to control the drugs. You see, they took the drug cartels from the Russians, and now the Russians have pretty much done the same thing over the oil, because they have their oil going back and forth, So it's just like, pretty much what you would call posturing, because on one side, Russia used to control the drugs, but now America controls the drugs and has the biggest problem of all with the drugs, because, of course, America has been that bully. And, well, what do you think is going to happen to a bully? Of course, like everything else, though, he's going to be chased off, and that's what Russia has been doing. Chased America out of the Middle East, because they'll only be in that area of the Syrian Democratic Forces, so they couldn't take over Syria and get into Damascus like they had planned, so they got to support these other terror groups. And of course, fights been breaking out between Gomer and the U.S., over those terrorist groups in Idlib, because of course they're getting pounded, and of course Gomer's begging the EU for help for their terrorist groups, and not getting it. So, Gomer's always been playing both sides, and Vladimir Putin, of course, is a very good chess player. And so you got all that going on as well. And like everything else, though, the Most High is mustering them up to gather them up for battle. So pretty much this Saturday, tomorrow, from tomorrow night to Sunday night is the fast, and it's the, pretty much the Day of Atonement, the Sukkot. So, what are we to do? Well, do exactly as it says, fast for the 24 hours, and you can teach, I believe, on that Sukkot, but you treat it like a Sabbath. You don't buy and sell, and you're not going to eat anyway, so there'd be no reason to buy and sell on that day anyways. But you can go out and teach, and of course you don't work out. That's the other one. As we're just rehearsing the righteous acts and trying to keep them to the best of our abilities. Now, that's not saying, though, that, if you had to go to work or whatever, you can't work on that day. No, but you definitely have to fast for that day, even if you are at work, So, it kind of works together that way, because we know that the Most High has been visiting this place, and the Bahamas, that's the Northern Kingdom, and, it's because they won't repent. They still worship Caesar Borgia. They've been told that they were Israelites, and yet they still want to be what Esau calls them, They'd rather be those bywords. So what do you think the Most High is going to do? Well, he's jealous. He's a very jealous and angry. Of course he is, because, what other choices does he have but to punish? And judgment starts at the house of Yasharahla. So he punished us first. That's why the whole world is in mourning, because of us being punished. If we was in power, do you think there would be chemtrails? Do you think that they honestly, these fires would be raging out of control? So yeah, the Red Bank fire, that's done about 6,000 acres, and then you got the Hurricane Dorian, and Hurricane Dorian ain't over with yet, So we know FEMA's out there, microchipping people, putting people into them camps. Of course they are, because you can't trust anything this man says, and they're not going to show that on the mainstream. No, of course not. You've got to find out. Otherwise, that's why, you pay attention to people like Dabu 7 and Chris Green, who Chris Green actually was telling you that it was going to be more than just a Category 1, that it would be a Category 4, so he had good information. So I'm going to continue reading from this book of Joel, chapter 2. Slovak. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your power. For he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down from you the rain, the former rain and the latter rain in the first month. So, we're to rejoice. Rejoice the fact that we have this truth and others don't. And the floor shall be full of wheat, and the fat shall overflow with wine and oil. So in other words, we're going to be taken care of if we're doing the work. And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. So in other words, we're going to rejoice because, of course, them chariots are coming to take the elect away from this place as this place is being judged. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your power, that hath dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. That's right, we're going to be in our glory. We're no longer going to be in these desolate places anymore. This whole place, and it's going to be nothing but a desolate wilderness, but we will no longer have to live on the streets. We will no longer be the dung of the earth. And you shall know that I am in the midst of Yasharahla, and that I am the Lord your power, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And that's happening now. You're seeing camps pop up everywhere. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. And your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And that's happening, You're catching videos all the time of those that have had a vision or had a dream. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids, in those days will I pour out the Spirit. That's right. We've been seeing a lot of females also prophesy and tell you what they had seen, that the Most High ain't playing anymore, And I will show wonders in the heaven and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. It's talking about the thermonuclear destruction that's coming to this place. And it's going to pretty much affect the whole world when this place is destroyed. 200 million nuclear missiles. This fire will not be extinguished for a very, very long time. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. So before. So that means that this place will be destroyed. A lot of this will be taking place even before the Most High comes. I mean, look at World War II alone. So you think World War III? No, man, that's a grand finale of wars. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord, which is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, meaning the northern and southern kingdom, shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. So hopefully we're part of that hopeful remnant, because, well, how do you want to get reassured? Because, you're not 100% sure, but you're trying to make your call to election sure. That means doing a self-diagnostics test. Am I doing everything I'm supposed to be doing? What is it that he's doing that I need to be doing? I ought to be just as diligent as that guy. That's what we need to be doing, is examining, It's like, well, what am I lacking in? Where do I need to improve? The idea is to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities, so what's within our power? What is it we're able to do? And if we could do all that, and we do it with fear and trembling, because the Lord compels us to step up game, then we know that our call and election is sure. And that's about it, man. The Most High is judging this place. And, at night you can see the smoke coming down from Highway 36, where the Red Bank fire is, So, like everything else, though, the Most High takes care of his people, just like he'll take care of our camps, that be caught up in Hurricane Dorian. For that, I want to say, Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abba Babal, Brakatham Yehovah Elect. Shalom.